Assalamualaikum, hope you're fine. This video is about those qualities which Aristotle has enlisted in his Poetics for the hero of a tragedy to make him an ideal one. Since, according to him, the function of a tragedy is to arouse the emotions of pity and fear in the spectator, that is why, in his view, the hero of a tragedy must possess certain qualities which can evoke the emotions of pity and fear in the audience. First quality that a tragic hero must possess is that, according to Aristotle, he must be good, not too good or perfect, because in his view the fall of a perfect man from happiness into misery would be unfair, and it will not arouse the emotions of pity and fear in the audience. And likewise, he says that an utterly wicked person passing from happiness to misery may satisfy our moral sense, but again it will lack proper tragic qualities, because his fall will be well deserved and according to justice to the audience, and as a result it will excite neither pity nor fear. So, in Aristotle's view, the entirely good and utterly wicked person is not suitable to be a tragic hero. Instead, he says that the tragic hero must be an intermediate kind of person, a man not preeminently just and virtuous, whose misfortune, however, is brought upon him not by vice or depravity, but by some error of judgment. Now, what does he mean by that is that the ideal tragic hero is a man who stands midway between the two extremes, that he is not eminently good or just, though he inclines to the side of goodness, which makes him like us, but at the same time raises him above the ordinary level by some heightened powers of intellect or his will. So he is idealized, but still he has so much of common humanity which must evoke the emotions of pity and fear in the audience. So the tragic hero is not evil or vicious, but he is also not perfect, and his disaster is brought upon him by his own fault. And for this fault, or the error of judgment, there is a Greek term, hamartia, and the root meaning of this word is missing the mark. So, according to Aristotle, the tragic hero falls not because of some vice or depravity, but because of some miscalculation on his part. In other words, the meaning of hamartia is not a moral failing. Instead, it is an error of judgment which a man commits unconsciously or innocently. Now, Humphrey House says that hamartia may be accompanied by moral imperfection, but it is not in itself a moral imperfection. Thus, in his view, a hamartia is an error of judgment or miscalculation which may arise from any of the three following ways. So, first, it may arise from ignorance of some material fact or circumstance. Secondly, it may be an error arising from hasty or careless view of a given situation. Thirdly, it may be an error voluntary but not deliberate, as it happens in the case of acts committed in anger or passion. Now, let's look at a few examples of hamartia from literature. So, Oedipus in Sophocles' play suffers from hubris, which is a Greek term for excessive pride, because it was Oedipus' pride and his confidence in his own abilities which make him unknowingly fulfill the very prophecy he so desperately sought to evade. So, it was Oedipus' arrogance which leads to the tragic consequences in his life. Similarly, hubris is also evident in the character of King Lear by Shakespeare. Specifically, it is evident in his initial misjudgments and flawed decision to divide his kingdom based only on flattery. So it was his prideful dismissal of Cordelia which sets off a chain of tragic events. So in this sense, it was Lear's hubris which contributes to his downfall. And another example is the vaulting ambition of Macbeth. Now, it is important to mention here that many people think that ambition was Macbeth's tragic flaw or his hamartia, which is wrong to say, because I think being ambitious is not a tragic flaw because we all are ambitious in one way or another. It is the unchecked ambition which becomes a tragic flaw, as it happens in the case of Macbeth as well, because it is his insatiable desire for power which leads him to commit heinous acts and ultimately results in his own downfall. Another quality which he mentioned for a tragic hero is that he must enjoy a position of lofty eminence in the society, because in his view the tragedy or downfall of common man will go unnoticed. That is why he says that the higher the state, the greater the fall that follows. So in Aristotle's view, for a greater impact of tragedy on the audience, it is very important that the hero of the tragedy must possess a noble position in the society. Another quality which Aristotle mentions for the tragic hero is that he must experience peripeteia, which is again a Greek term for a reversal of fortune brought about because of the hero's error in judgment. So peripeteia is the result of the acts committed by the hero because of his hamartia. And if we talk about peripeteia in Oedipus, it happens when he learns that he is the murderer of King Laius, his own father, and that he has married his own mother, Queen Jocasta. So this shocking revelation turns the tide of Oedipus' fortune from a respected king to a tragic figure, and hence fulfilling the very prophecy he was so desperately trying to avoid. The last quality which Aristotle mentions for an ideal tragic hero is the anagnorisis, which is a Greek term for the discovery or recognition that the reversal of fortune was brought about by the hero's own actions. Because in Aristotle's view, the hero must be intelligent enough to understand and own his own mistakes so that he himself and others may learn from him. And also, he must courageously accept his tragic end with honor. And in case of Oedipus, the anagnosis happens when he comprehends the full extent of his unwitting actions, that the tragic end he meets is the result of his own actions. So, all in all, Aristotle has mentioned four qualities of an ideal tragic hero. First one is that he must be good but not perfect, and he must have hamartia in his character. Second one is that he must enjoy a lofty position in the society. Third one is that he must experience peripeteia, and the fourth and last one is the anagnosis. So that's it about the qualities of ideal tragic hero by Aristotle. Thank you.